On the news, clerics in Zamfara State confirmed terrorist Bello Turji surrenders arms, releases captives after Islamic clerics intervention. Wrangling in the ADC continues as party's chairman rejects new national leadership led by former Senate President David Mark. And ahead of the 2027 elections, INEC warns political parties against premature campaign activities. Thank you for joining News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I'm Simisola Atiku. In a stunning turn of events, wanted terrorist kingpin Bello Turji has reportedly released 32 kidnapped individuals and pledged to cease attacks on farmers following a series of meetings with Islamic clerics at his hideout in the Shinkafi local government area of Zamfara State. The development was disclosed by a cleric, Musa Yusuf, popularly called Asados Sona, during a religious gathering on Monday in Kaduna, where he explained that Turji had surrendered a portion of his weapons as part of the peace deal. Yusuf added that while the clerics are still working to persuade Turji to fully embrace peace, they intentionally did not ask him to surrender all his weapons, citing concerns that doing so could leave him vulnerable to attacks from rival groups opposed to the peace process. He also cautioned fellow clerics against attacking Turji online, warning that such criticisms could inflame tensions and jeopardize the fragile progress. Yusuf said that although the agreement does not mark the end of terrorism in Zamfara State, he confirmed communities within Turji's area of influence are already experiencing relative calm. Some residents of Nigeria's South region have called for a constitutional review to empower judges to sign death warrants or commute death sentences to life imprisonment. In their arguments, the residents, including legal experts, say that most governors avoid signing the warrant due to the political and moral burden of being seen as shedding blood. They maintain that once a court delivers a judgment, its implementation should not rely on the discretion of governors. Instead, they advocate that the judiciary be solely responsible for signing death warrants. Some respondents further recommend replacing the death penalty with life imprisonment, noting that a major obstacle to justice in Nigeria remains the lack of diligent prosecution. Earlier on, I spoke with legal practitioner Liberos Oshoma to get his thoughts on this proposal.
The law constitutionally protects right to life. It's a fundamental right to life embedded in the 1999 Constitution as amended. Under the fundamental human rights provisions, you have a right to life, and nobody can take another's life except in the execution of a court judgment or a sentence, death sentence. And even when that death sentence is passed, the Constitution empowers the governor to assent to that sentence. So to now answer your question directly, it is the governor that the Constitution assigns the authority to execute a death, sentence, because the courts are empowered to pass judgment. It is, we say, there are three arms of government: the legislature that made the law prescribing death penalty for certain offenses, and then the judiciary that interprets the law, and then to commit somebody to say, yes, you have committed an offense, and the penalty for that offense is death. And after that judgment is passed, then there is the executive arm that is constitutionally guaranteed and empowered to execute that judgment that is passed. And so it is in that vein, it is in that light that the governor, who heads the executive arm of government, that is empowered to carry out the execution of a court judgment, also a death warrant. That is why the prisons are not managed by the judiciary, but they are managed by the executive arm of government.
So now, do you have any concern or opposition regarding this proposed constitutional change now by citizens in Nigeria's South region to enable judges to sign death warrants, instead of governors?
Yeah, my reservation on that ground is that you are now transferring the job of the executive, to the judiciary. It is not the responsibility of the judiciary to execute a judgment was passed. And most times that's why when under the Sheriff and Civil Processes Act, when a judgment is to be executed by the, the court sheriff, they also collaborate with the members of the Nigerian police, which is an executive arm of government. So in that vein, the courts, because the fundamental rights, freedom to life, right to life is a fundamental right, and not just a right donated. They are fundamental, inalienable rights. And so you cannot breach that right or abridge the right by just one arm of government. That is why the law also permits that two arms of government must collaborate, and that one will pass the judgment, the other, which is the executive, will execute the judgment. So by the time you amend the constitution to say a judge will pass a sentence and then the judge will also execute that sentence, then that would mean that you are, unnecessarily burdening one arm of government with too much power. And like we say, power corrupt and absolute power corrupt, absolutely. People might be agitating for a change now because of constitutional exigency, but I can tell you that it is not, we should not sacrifice, constitutional provisions for sentiments. I think it is sentiments that are making people feel that, look, let's all concentrate the powers in one organ of government. That shouldn't be. We shouldn't concentrate such powers in just one person.
On politics, the concerned state chairman of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, has rejected the new national leadership of the party led by former President of the Senate, David Mark, and former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar. In a statement signed by the chairman, Elias Adoku, and the publicity secretary, Godwin Alaku, the party described the recent takeover of the party by the opposition coalition as an, in quote, orchestrated political coup. Recall that Mark was named the interim national chairman of the ADC after the opposition coalition adopted the party as its platform aimed at challenging the ruling All Progressives Congress APC in the 2027 election. However, the ADC state chairman have condemned what they describe as the hijack of the party by the coalition.
Nigeria must not forget in a hurry the notorious warning from one of the ringleader of this group who declared during the 2011 election that if peaceful change is not possible, violent change is inevitable. This dangerous mindset is once again rearing its head, now clogged in the gap of a political coalition. It is only by the grace of God that our democracy survived then. And we must not allow such reckless adventurism to thrive now. The Forum of ADC state chairman view this attempted takeover as an insult to all those who believe in and have labored for democratic governance in Nigeria. It is illegality. Illegitimate and unacceptable. Their objective is to fracture the democratic process using selfish ambition and extra-party inducement to destroy a political platform they neither build nor believe in. Let it be known, the African Democratic Congress ADC remain a party committed to democratic principles, the rule of law, ideology, clarity, and peaceful political engagement. We have never and will never be a platform for political machineries or ideology imposture. If the coalition led by Senator David Mark and their agent of subversion are determined to pursue their sinister ambition, they are advised to create their own party or look elsewhere. The ADC is not a cell.
In other stories, the Minister of State and Works, Bello Goronyo, has officially commissioned a suite of advanced road construction and maintenance equipment donated by the government of Japan under its grant aid program. The commissioning ceremony drew attendance from key stakeholders, including members of the National Assembly, representatives from the Federal Ministry of Works, development partners, professional bodies, and the diplomatic corps. TV360's Victoria Akode has details.
The landmark unveiling was held at the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency FEMA Asphalt Yard in Kuje, Abuja, marking a significant milestone in Nigeria's road infrastructure development. Among the machinery unveiled was the cutting-edge 3-in-1 road stabilizer designed to accelerate the recovery of failed road sections using innovative and cost-effective methods. The equipment, valued at over 3.6 billion naira, provided under Japan's Economic and Social Development Program, is expected to significantly enhance FEMA's operational capacity across federal road networks in Nigeria.
This donation of advanced road construction equipment worth 3.6 billion naira is a game changer. It is significantly enhanced FEMA's capacity to carry out its mandate more efficiently and effectively and to a higher standard. This equipment will empower our engineers and technicians to undertake more comprehensive repairs, faster rehabilitation, and more sustainable maintenance across the country.
Describing the donation as a significant milestone in the agency's history, the Managing Director and CEO of FEMA says the 3-in-1 road stabilizer, alongside other equipment, would support the rapid restoration of failed road sections through innovative and cost-effective techniques such as in-place-based cost stabilization and subgrade rehabilitation.
The agency at the time identified the need to significantly build and improve in-house capacity required to recover failed road sections and undertake all routine and periodic maintenance.
Fixing Nigerian roads is a collective effort. The government cannot do it alone. We need the support of other international communities and partners to provide funding, technical expertise, knowledge sharing, capacity building, and project monitoring to improve Nigerian roads maintenance efforts.
In his remarks, the Japanese ambassador to Nigeria reaffirmed Japan's enduring commitment to supporting Nigeria's infrastructure development through strategic bilateral cooperation. He commended FEMA for its dedication and professionalism and assured that Japan remains a willing partner in Nigeria's journey towards national progress.
These stabilizers can reduce road repair times by 60% compared to traditional methods, while also reducing costs by 50 to 60%. I'm convinced that this will surely be a major contribution to FEMA as it continues to properly maintain and service the roads in Nigeria.
Marking the start of what stakeholders described as a new era of strategic, efficient and high-standard road maintenance in Nigeria, the event concluded with a formal inspection and demonstration of the newly acquired machinery. Victoria Akande, TV360 News, Lagos.
And as Lagos joins the rest of the world to commemorate the 2025 World Breastfeeding Week, the state says it has recorded a significant milestone in child nutrition, with its exclusive breastfeeding rate rising to 57.4%, surpassing the global benchmark of 50%. Special advisor to the Governor on Health, Kemi Ogunyemi, who revealed this on Tuesday during the official press briefing to flag off this year's World Breastfeeding Week, says this year's theme, Prioritize Breastfeeding, Create Sustainable Support Systems, emphasizes the need to institutionalize long-term support for nursing mothers, especially working women. She explained that the low low level of babies to breast within 1 hour of delivery is primarily due to gaps in service delivery, misinformation, and the use of prelactal feeds like glucose water and infant formula. Ogemi assured the state government is working assiduously to address the 14% low rate of early initiation of breastfeeding within the first hour of birth, which poses serious implications for neonatal health.
Breastfeeding delivers a hopeful future not only for children, but for the society. It reduces healthcare costs, boosts cognitive development, strengthens economy, and sets children up with healthy beginnings with excellent educational performance. To this effect, the state government, under the able leadership of Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the executive governor of Lagos State, is not relenting in its efforts to supporting the practice of breastfeeding towards the survival of under 5 children. The state is blessed with 334 primary healthcare centers, more than 20 mother and child centers, equipped with intensive care units and well-trained pediatric consultants and nurse specialists to manage both complicated and uncomplicated deliveries. In addition, a lot of capacity building on maternal, infant, and young child nutrition and other child survival strategies have been approved and are ongoing. Also targeted health education on breastfeeding is rendered to motivate all pregnant women in all public health facilities in preparedness for delivery and appropriate childcare.
Early initiation is very important. It's for their good, it's for the good of the baby, and it will help them to make the journey of exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months easier, because the health worker is there now. She can support them. They can get all the support they need during early initiation. So women should cooperate with health workers to make it better.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has warned political parties against launching early public campaigns for the 2027 general election, stressing that such actions violate the nation's Electoral Act. INEC's Chief Press Secretary Rotimi Oyekomi issued the warning in Abuja, citing ongoing subtle campaigns and poster distributions across the country despite the absence of an official timetable. He clarified that by law, open campaigns are only permitted 150 days before polling day and must end 24 hours before the election, adding that no party primaries or candidate nominations have taken place. Oyekomi reiterated that while political discussions are allowed, any form of vote solicitation at this stage is inappropriate and unlawful, urging strict compliance from all parties. It's now time for a short break. When News Now returns, Rwanda accepts up to 250 deportees from the United States under Donald Trump's third country plan. Stay with us for details. Welcome back. Let's quickly remind you of our main stories. In a stunning turn of events, wanted terrorist kingpin Bello Turji has reportedly released 32 kidnapped individuals and pledged to cease attacks on farmers following a series of meetings with Islamic clerics at his hideout in the Shinkafi local government area of Zamfara State. We also told you that the concerned state chairman of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, has rejected the new national leadership of the party led by former President of the Senate, David Mark, and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. In a statement signed by the chairman, Elias Adoko, and the publicity secretary, Godwin Alaku, the party described the recent takeover of the party by the opposition coalition as an orchestrated political coup. In case you missed any of our news bulletins, of more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and AVO TV, or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on X, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria. or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery, and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
Wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Let's switch gears to business. Victoria Konde is here with the latest. Over to you, Victoria.
Thank you very much, Simi. Welcome to Business News Now. In its bid to anchor economic stability, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has maintained its benchmark monetary policy rate at 27.50%, as announced at the 301st Monetary Policy Committee meeting held on July 21 to 22nd, 2025. The decision stems from efforts to sustain the gradual disinflation seen over recent months. The CBN Governor Olayemi Cardoso emphasized the importance of maintaining tight monetary conditions to bring inflation down to single-digit levels, warning of persistent underlying price pressures driven by global risks such as trade tensions and currency volatility. Still in the world of business, government officials and industry leaders have conversed at the opening of the 2025 Nigeria Manufacturing Equipment and Raw Materials Expo in Lagos in a renewed push to drive sustainable manufacturing and reduce import dependence. The event, themed Accelerating Sustainable Manufacturing through Cutting-Edge Equipment and Technology Solutions, highlights the urgent need for innovation, collaboration, and local content development in Nigeria's industrial sector. Speaking at the event, President of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Francis Meshoye, emphasized the need to advance local sourcing and beneficiation of raw materials as a way to boost domestic production and cut reliance on imports. Also speaking, the Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Onaji, called for a collective effort to reshape Nigeria's manufacturing landscape through the adoption of technology, partnerships, and smart solutions.
Your active participation at this expo exemplifies your resolve to showcase innovative products and solutions developed by local manufacturers and their foreign counterparts. Connect with potential customers, partners, and to find a way to promote our local resources and supporting Nigeria industries. This expo also affords us an opportunity to examine the state of the manufacturing sector and to create solutions to ameliorate identified challenges. This is a marketplace of ideas, and we look forward to harvesting innovative solutions to grow the manufacturing sector and develop the Nigeria economy.
This event is more than an exhibition. It is a call to action to use new ideas, smart technology, and strong partnerships to boost manufacturing and create real opportunities for our people, especially the youths. We must ensure every policy, investment, and innovation creates real opportunities for young Nigerians and give them hope for the future. This expo supports many of the President's
top priorities like economic growth, innovation, infrastructure, education, and good governance. Let us use this time to work together and turn plans into action. The world is moving fast. Countries that invest in advanced technologies are growing quickly and creating good jobs.
Right now, we'll go on a short break and be back with stock market updates. Welcome back. The Nigerian equities market extended its positive momentum on the second trading day of the week, advancing by 0.5% to close in green territory. This latest rally pushed the market capitalization to 91.6 trillion naira. In today's session, activity remained robust on the NGX with 127 listed equities participating in trade. Out of this, 52 stocks recorded gains while 22 declined, a clear reflection of bullish sentiment dominating the market. BUA Cement topped the gainers chart with a 10% surge, closing at 117.50 naira per share, and was followed closely by Enamel Wear. Trading activity remained vibrant as over 1 billion shares were exchanged across 38,922 deals, translating to a market value of over 22 billion naira. Now, compared to Monday's performance, the market saw a 27% uptick in volume, a 17% boost in turnover, and an 8% rise in the number of deals. Now, shifting focus to the global scene, market sentiment was mixed. Wall Street stocks indexes were lower on Tuesday, following weaker than expected U.S. economic data, as equities in Europe and Asia gained ground. Among our selected indices, the UK's FTSE and Japan's Nikkei closed in bullish territory, while the U.S. Dow Jones ended in the red, as you can see on the chart. Meanwhile, on the foreign exchange market, the naira traded at 1,565 naira to the US dollar on the black market, and at 2,150 naira to the British pounds, and 1,790 naira to the euro, still on the black market. That's it on both business and stock market updates. Back to you, Simi, for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Victoria. Let's head straight to Rwanda, where the government has agreed to accept up to 250 deportees from the United States as part of the Trump administration's expanding third country deportation program. Spokesperson for the Rwandan government, Yolanda Makolo, confirmed the agreement in an email, although the specific timeline for commencement of the deportations is still unknown. According to the Rwandan official, the move is part of the United States government's broader effort under President Donald Trump to negotiate agreement with foreign nations, particularly in Africa and Latin America, to accept individuals the U.S. classifies as having entered the country illegally. While Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is preparing to unveil an updated Gaza war strategy aimed at eliminating Hamas and securing the release of Israeli hostages still held in the Palestinian enclave. According to Israeli media reports, the revised plan may include a directive for the full military reoccupation of Gaza. Netanyahu is expected to convene a high-level security meeting in Jerusalem to finalize and issue the new directives, although no official timeline has been confirmed. He said on Monday the meeting will take place in the coming days. And on sports, the Tigers star Amy Okonkwo has been named Most Valuable Player of the 2025 FIBA Women's Afrobasket following her key role in Nigeria's 78-64 win over Mali in the final in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire. The 28-year-old recorded 19 points, 9 rebounds and 3 assists in the final, helping Nigeria clinch a 5th consecutive title. During the tournament, she averaged 14 points, led in 3-point shooting and ranked second in the free throws. Okonkwo becomes the only second Nigerian to win back-to-back MVP awards, joining Mfon Doka. And that's it on News Now. Many thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.